Choosing what you want to do with your hair is the most important next step after deciding that you no longer want to chemically treat the hair, or you want to do something other than wearing a low cut if you previously were rocking a low cut, or even after deciding that you want to move away from a permanent thing like dreadlocks. The next thing you're going to need to do will be to determine what the next step for your hair is. The options for this are usually, if you are wearing a low cut, the option will be to completely start growing your hair out and allowing it grow from the low cut. If you were chemically treating your hair, the next option you'll be willing to consider will be allowing the hair to grow out but stopping the chemical treatment. So that means you're going to be transitioning into natural hair. And if you're wearing a more permanent look like dreadlocks, your next option will either be to comb out your locks or to allow your hair grow but not lock the roots like you typically would do. That's redlocking. To allow the hair to grow out, and you may choose to cut out the dreadlocks, keep them in storage, and then allow your natural hair to grow out on its own. This part where you stop any permanent treatment and you allow your natural hair to grow out on its own is what we call transitioning. And transitioning is most commonly associated with stopping chemical treatments like relaxers or texturizers or even hair coloring, anything that was meant to alter the structure and the natural texture of your hair. When I went natural the first time 10 years ago, I transitioned, meaning I stopped chemical treatment. I used to relax my hair back then because I was a teenager. I relaxed my hair every single time. Whenever it was due, I would get a relaxer. Whenever it was hard to manage, I would get a relaxer. I would straighten it. I would blow dry it, just anything. But my hair was always straight. So I made the decision to stop chemically treating my hair. The main reason I made that decision was because I was constantly dealing with relaxer burns. My scalp was very sensitive, and it did not matter whatever pre-treatment I did to prep my hair and scalp for the relaxer, I always had burns. I can count on one hand the number of times relaxer did not burn me, and it is not up to 5 times, no matter the relaxer I used also. So I always dealt with burns, and eventually I got tired and I decided to give natural hair a try because I wanted to see if my hair could grow healthier. My hair was also very thin when I used to relax it, but I decided to give natural hair a try to see if it was something that I could do, if it was something I could learn about, to see if it was something that I could take care of on my own. Back then, there was no support. There was nothing like natural hair salon where you could just go and submit your hair and they would tell you what to do. They'll tell you what routine to use. They'll tell you what products to get for your hair. Everybody was relaxing their hair. So it was an entire process. I had to transition my hair, stop all chemical treatments, and I transitioned for exactly 1 year. Once I was done with my 1 year period of allowing my hair grow, I chose to chop off the hair and just leave the short hair. For the people who think that my hair has always been long, that's my natural hair. That is the farthest thing from the truth. When it comes to natural hair, you either do 3 things, or you're either brought up with 3 things, meaning your parents allowed you to grow your natural hair from scratch, so you grew up into an adult with natural hair, or you used to relax your hair and then you grew up and decided you wanted to stop that and you allowed your natural hair to grow, or you used to rock a low cut and you just decided to stop that and allow your hair to grow out. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a few things that I wish I knew before the natural hair journey. Things that if I knew back then, it would have simplified the entire journey for me. It would have made the process less stressful and less tedious, and it would have made me even more confident to rock my natural hair because I knew these things beforehand. The TWA stage, or the teeny weeny afro stage, has its own rules and nobody really talks about this. A lot of us now have longer hair, meaning we've passed the TWA stage long before we started to share about our natural hair journeys. If you're in the TWA stage, maybe you just cut your hair off and you're trying to figure out what it is you need to do to get your hair to that dream hair that you have in mind. Pay very close attention to this video. So the time frame for this is going to be the first 6 to 12 months after your big chop. This is the key time frame that you need to be very, very attentive, because what you do at this time is going to set the precedent for how the rest of your natural hair journey turns out, and what you learn during this period is going to make the journey easier or harder for you as time goes on. The very first thing you need to understand is that your scalp should be your priority, not your hair. If I understood this, then the game would have changed completely for me. When I started to grow my TWA out, what I focused on was my hair. That's the body of the hair instead of my scalp. But the scalp is where the real work happens. The scalp is where the blood flows throughout. The scalp is where the hair grows out from, and the scalp is where all of the nutrients that are actually going to boost your hair growth reside. So instead of focusing on just the body of your hair, instead of asking how do I grow my hair out, how do I curl my hair, how do I define my hair, is there anything I should use to make my hair look a certain way, instead focus on your scalp. At the TWA stage, and I point this out a lot, your hair is is too short for anything like curl definition or even longer hair to matter. You need to focus on making sure that your scalp is actually healthy. I tell my people this very short hair stage is where you can get away with anything. You can use your hair to learn anything and everything, and you can experiment as much as you like before your hair starts to get longer. Your scalp produces oils naturally, constantly, and if you don't attend to this, if you don't cleanse your scalp regularly, the scalp will start to get clogged from all of the products build up, and this is going to slow down your growth even without you realizing it. So it's important for you to cleanse your scalp regularly. I advise doing at least once a week. Because your hair is short, you can actually cleanse your scalp and your hair every single day, and it will be fine because you'll be reapplying your products and moisturizing and massaging your scalp in the process. But if you cannot do every single day or a few times a week, try to do at least once a week. This will give your hair and scalp room to breathe and also give you time to recover and learn about your hair while you put together a plan for making your hair care very effective and very efficient for you according to your lifestyle and according to your schedule. Really quickly, if you missed the April cohort of my 30-day hair growth workshop, May cohort registration is now open. If you've been looking for a chance to work with me to grow your hair, to learn about your hair, to learn how to make DIY products at home from scratch and using ingredients that you are very sure will help you grow your hair, then the opportunity is open now. I'm going to leave the link to the workshop registration in the description box and the pinned comments. Make sure you go ahead and tap that and take advantage of this opportunity. My April cohort is currently ongoing and it's going to go for the entire month of April because it's 30 days. 30 days is long enough for you to master how to care for your hair, for you to understand what you need to do, and for you to learn everything that you need to learn to make sure your hair growth process is very smooth and very easy. Make sure you tap that link, guys, and let's get this cohort done for the month of May. The second pointer is that moisture may not necessarily be what you think that it is. When naturals talk about moisture, your mind immediately goes to products, leave-in conditioners, curling creams, LCO method, LOC method, oils, styling butters, this one and that one. We stack products on top of products on top of products on the same hair at the same time. And I did all of this. Trust me, I experimented to my feel when I had very, very short hair. In fact, that was the time that I used to do things to my hair every single day, use all manner of products on my hair every single day because it was so cute, because using the products made my hair look a certain way and I admired it, people admired it, and because of the way my hair looked, people also wanted to go natural so that their hair would look like mine. But the thing is, when you do all of these things and you use all of these products on top of one another, your hair will feel dry the next day, it will feel crunchy the next day, you will have white flakes settle all over your hair because you mix products that may not necessarily have agreed with each other and apply them to your hair. What I didn't understand was that majority of the products I was applying to my hair were only meant to seal in moisture into the hair. They did not provide the hair with moisture and they did not make the hair create moisture. Moisture has to come from inside the body first, meaning you have to hydrate very, very well. You have to drink enough water. And when it comes to your hair, if you're going to be applying moisture to the hair directly, you have to first of all apply water. Any products that you're getting in terms of leave-in conditioners and creams have to be water based, meaning water has to be one of the ingredients. Instead of just using butters, oils, and creams that may not contain water, your hair strand is dead at the point that you can see it, but it is alive when it's growing inside the follicle. And so what you eat matters, what you drink matters. And at that stage, hydration from your blood, what you drink and what you eat directly affects how your hair grows out and the quality of the hair strands that form. A dehydrated body produces dry, brittle hair at the roots, and no amount of applying water outside is going to change that. So this is one of the reasons why you can apply all the water in the world, but because you don't drink enough water, because you don't take in enough fluids, and because you don't eat healthy enough, it's going to show on your hair outside. 6 to 8 glasses of water is going to keep you hydrated daily. It has to be daily. It's going to keep you properly hydrated, and when you're properly hydrated from the inside, it's going to show through your hair, through your nails, through your skin, the whole package. And once you ingest this amount of water and you eat properly, you can now turn your focus to the method that you use for applying products to your hair and sealing in moisture, which could be the LOC, liquid oil cream method if you have high porosity hair, or the LCO, or liquid cream oil method if you have low porosity hair. Meaning you're first of all going to apply your moisture, which could be water, which could be a leave-in cream, and then you're going to apply your cream, which could also be a leave-in cream or a curling cream. Then you're going to seal in with your oil, formulated oil, or a butter to make sure the moisture stays locked into the hair and the hair doesn't get dry immediately after. That your hair needs protein just as much as it needs moisture. This is the one that contradicts what you've probably heard. You may hear things like protein overload, avoid protein, your hair is already strong, you need to moisturize intensively. And for certain hair types at certain stages, this might hold. But for the TWA stage, especially if you're just coming out of years and years of chemical treatments and chemical processing done repeatedly, your hair strands have almost no structural memory. Relaxers weaken the protein bonds in the hair permanently, and the new growth coming in will look natural and healthy, yes, but it's also very new. The hair is very strong and it needs something to fortify it and make sure that it stays that way. The TWA stage is where your hair is the most hungry for protein. Think about food, think about eggs, think about meat. You can eat them, you can apply them as a mask. This is where those homemade masks we used to do, using avocado, using eggs, using bananas, using palm oil or other carrier oils, mixing everything together into a mask and applying it to the hair, then applying heat before rinsing it out. This is where those things come in. Or if you want to go plant-based, you can opt for moringa leaves, blend everything into a paste, or use the powdered form. Moringa has more protein than most plant-based hair treatments, and because of this, when you add it to your hair treatment, when you add it to your food, your hair is going to respond. And you may be wondering how you will know whether or not your hair needs more protein. I want you to do a very simple test. Wet a strand or a few strands of your hair and stretch it very slowly. If your hair snaps immediately or almost immediately with no stretch, it means that your hair needs more moisture. If it stretches but doesn't snap, it means that your hair needs more protein. And since most TWA hair comes from relaxed roots, your hair always needs more protein at this stage. Something you're probably currently doing almost every day, almost every time, and it's secretly destroying your length without you even realizing it. That is touching your hair constantly. I don't even mean the constant styling, even though that constitutes a part. I don't mean the constant touching every day. I mean intervals during the day where your hand unconsciously goes to your hair and you don't even know. At the TWA stage, your hair is new, it feels new, and the entire experience is exciting. You're still learning about your hair. You want to touch it constantly. You want to see how it moves. You want to see how it looks in different styles. You want to stretch it. You want to fluff it. You want to reshape it. You want to run your fingers through it multiple times after moisturizing. You want to pick at your hair before bed or when you're in deep thought. All of these things count as touch. Every single time you handle your hair unnecessarily, you create friction, and friction between hair strands breaks the cuticle. Broken cuticle means more split ends, and more split ends means more breakage and hair that looks uneven. So what you want to do is you want to do your hair care, you want to moisturize your hair, you want to style it, and then do your very best to leave it alone. This can be a little hard, but trust me, you get used to it. And don't forget, you will need to take your nighttime routine seriously because you've applied products to your hair. You don't want all of that moisture to be sucked out of your hair. So get you a certain bonnet, get a certain scarf, or get certain pillowcases so that you can rest your head on those fabrics that help preserve moisture and your hair won't dry out and break unnecessarily. One I wish somebody told me first before I started buying products. Although, even if somebody told me this back in the day when I was a student and I just did my big job, it may not really have done anything for me because I couldn't even afford to do it properly then. I'm talking about eating properly. What you eat becomes your hair. If you don't already know, what you consume into your body shows outside. I've said this before. So if you're eating healthy, if you're drinking enough water, if you're taking less junk food, and if you're even moving your body, you're just going to look vibrant and your hair is also going to look well hydrated. This last pointer can be the hardest to accept because we've been taught to look for external factors to help with hair growth instead of looking internally. A lot of the times, the solution to the problem is not going to be applied outside, it's going to be ingested. That is something you need to take note of. When it comes to your hair is made of keratin. Keratin is a protein. Proteins come from amino acids. Amino acids come from foods, and you cannot grow strong, healthy hair without good food. At the TWA stage, I've mentioned this in the beginning, you are building the entire foundation for your hair growth journey. When you feed your body right, it's going to show through your hair, not just temporarily or for a few months, but even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years to come. And that's it. When I look back on my own TWA stage and the journey at that point, while I don't regret anything that I did not actually start to understand and master simplifying my routine until later years. So I have done a lot of learning, I've done a lot of reflection, I have had more than enough time to understand natural hair from scratch, and that is how I've been able to put all of these things together and share them with you. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have anything to add to the video, to add to the point, to add to the TWA stage of the journey of natural hair care, feel free to leave them in the comment section so that other people can learn from them and we can grow as a community. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.